Hello, I hope all is well, and today we're going to be looking at this Charvel Joe Duplantier signature model. So this guitar has been discontinued as he's signed to ESP now, so you can no longer find these models online, but I think you can probably find them on the used market. So the initial release, I think, was about 7 or 8 years ago, and it was in this white edition. And the big difference here are the pickups on here, which were Duncan designed pickups. And then an updated version was released in 2020, I believe, which is this mahogany version, which is what we're looking at today. And the big differences there would be, say, the Damasio pickups that are in there, and maybe a few other small things there. But in essence, spec-wise, both guitars, from what I can see, they're pretty much the same. So we're looking at a Damasio signature Fortitude in the bridge, and then the 36th anniversary PAF pickup in the neck. We have a single volume and a 3-way switch over there. Add to this locking tuners, we've got the usual or typical 12 to 16 inch compound radius Charvel neck, and this really nice mahogany kind of oiled finish, as well as a mahogany body. Now, if you've been following the channel for a bit, you've seen that on a previous video, when I traded my 7-string for this guitar, this had quite the stink to it, and by that I mean tobacco stink. And fortunately, I'm happy to report that through constantly airing it outside, use of tea tree oil as well as lemon oil, the stink is pretty much all but gone. So now I can finally play this guitar properly. So when I put up the 7-string for sale, someone offered this in exchange for the 7-string. And as they're around the same price used, I decided to give it a go, given that the specs, at least on paper, are pretty much the sort of thing that I really like or I'd go to, i.e. sort of PAF style pickups. We've got big frets on this, got a slim, kind of fast kind of neck, and fairly simple controls. Now, the only thing I'd probably ask or change on this would be actually have a tone control as well, which I think would be quite useful. And a potential mod that I'm debating to do would be to change the volume pot to a concentric knob. So it's a stacked knob. So I have volume, but also a tone pot on there as well. So I can dial in the tone pot to my liking depending on what I'm playing. For its typical use case scenario, i.e. metal, you probably won't need that, to be fair. But I find that doing other styles of music, having that tone pot on there can really kind of sweeten things up a bit and warm things up if you want by turning that tone pot down. And so, yeah, it has Gojira on the headstock, which is a killer metal band. I think you can use this guitar in a variety of different styles quite convincingly, and it just wouldn't look out of place, be it on, you know, a jazz covers gig maybe, or a rock or a pop gig, as it really kind of fits in aesthetically to a lot of different things. Sound-wise, I think, as I said before, the mod adding, say, a tone pot would kind of open things up so that you can darken the tone without sort of losing volume. You can sort of achieve that somewhat by turning the volume pot down a bit, which will darken the tone somewhat, but it's not quite the same as, say, having a tone pot. So I think that would be quite useful if you were to use this for, say, other styles of music. For metal, at least, you know, with these appointments, it just works really well. I think because of the way it's set up and this kind of telly shape, despite it being, you know, mahogany and you got the two humbuckers, it has this really kind of percussive nature to it. And what I found interesting was, despite the, well, you know, it's a 25.5-inch scale length, I put on a set of 10 to 46 strings on here, and they're really quite tight already at sort of standard tuning. And I've actually managed to pull off like a C-sharp standard tuning on here, and the tension feels really good. So I'm not sure what's going on, if it's just a case of like, well, this guitar likes lower tunings, and because of the tension, the way it's set up, it just works. But I was a bit surprised, thinking I'd need perhaps a higher gauge to pull those tunings off. And it might be because, you know, as I'm getting older, for some reason or other, I'm really enjoying kind of lighter strings, as I have a fairly lighter touch when I play guitar. And that way I can get more out of my playing, at least, because, you know, bends will be easier to do and it will ultimately be easier to play. So that was a welcome surprise. In any case, I hope you got something out of the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.